Trauma Alchemy: How Your Deepest Wounds Become Your Greatest Superpowers. Thank you all for being here today. I'm truly honored to share with you some extraordinary insights I gathered from my recent interview with Amanda Mason, a visionary Black woman entrepreneur and master life coach who is fundamentally reshaping our understanding of trauma, healing, and leadership. Amanda isn't just changing individual lives. She's creating a seismic shift in how we view our most painful experiences, transforming the entrepreneurial landscape for generations to come. What makes Amanda's work so revolutionary is her courage to challenge one of society's most deeply entrenched beliefs: that our wounds must remain hidden to maintain our strength and credibility. In a world obsessed with curated perfection, she dares to suggest something radical: that our deepest traumas can become our most profound gifts to humanity. Think about this for a moment. We live in a culture that celebrates strength while stigmatizing vulnerability. We admire resilience, but remain deeply uncomfortable with the messy, non-linear process of healing. We crave transformation without acknowledging what actually needs to be transformed. And nowhere is this contradiction more evident than in the expectations placed on Black women entrepreneurs. The data tells a compelling story. At the 2025 Women's Business Enterprise National Council Conference in New Orleans, Black women entrepreneurs were highlighted as drivers of systemic change within American business. Yet, despite their businesses collectively controlling $3.9 trillion dollars in revenue, these women received only 45% of requested loan amounts compared to 55% for men. The denial rates were significantly higher for Black women founders specifically. This is the landscape Amanda navigates and transforms through her groundbreaking work. What if what if our deepest wounds, especially those we carry from childhood, don't just shape who we are, but can actually become the very fuel for our greatest healing and leadership? What if the parts of ourselves we've been taught to hide contain the very wisdom the world most desperately needs? This isn't just inspirational rhetoric, it's a fundamental shift in how we understand human potential. Let me share three profound insights from Amanda's approach that illuminate this transformative perspective. First, your hidden stories hold tremendous power. The experiences you may want to hide, especially those rooted in trauma, can actually become your most powerful source of wisdom and connection when shared with courage. I witnessed this firsthand at the WNC conference in New Orleans. Black women entrepreneurs began building supportive ecosystems through mentorship programs, peer networks, and advocacy platforms focused on collective rather than individual achievement. By openly acknowledging the systemic barriers they faced, they transformed these challenges into catalysts for empowerment. The results were nothing short of extraordinary. From 2019 to 2023, women owned firms outpaced men by a staggering 94.3% growth rate. Black women owned businesses saw revenues rise by an average of 32.7%, signaling both resilience and tremendous economic impact. One entrepreneur shared how her childhood experiences of financial insecurity, something she had previously hidden from business associates, became the foundation for her fintech company focused on creating financial literacy programs for underserved communities. Her wound became the very insight that allowed her to identify and fill a critical market gap. This leads to Amanda's second key insight. Healing is foundational for success. Professional growth isn't separate from personal healing, it's built upon it. We see this principle at work in Gray's Upgrade Her initiative. In March 2025, Gray awarded $9,500 grants supporting high growth women led businesses worldwide, with special focus on overcoming barriers faced by founders from marginalized backgrounds. What made this program revolutionary wasn't just the financial support, it was the recognition that traditional banking systems often exclude female founders from underrepresented groups because they fail to see the value in their lived experiences. The program began as an Africa focused initiative before expanding globally due to overwhelming demand. It nearly doubled participation year over year and catalyzed cross border collaborations among female leaders facing similar struggles worldwide. One Nigerian entrepreneur who received funding had previously been rejected by 12 traditional lenders. Why? Because her business model addressing maternal health disparities was deemed too niche by bankers who couldn't understand the market need she clearly saw based on her own traumatic childbirth experience. Through the Upgrade Her program, she not only secured funding, but connected with a Brazilian founder tackling similar challenges, creating a partnership that has since saved countless lives. This brings us to Amanda's third insight: community accelerates transformation. When Black women come together in spaces where vulnerability meets strategy, they build ecosystems that lift everyone higher. Collective healing leads to collective advancement. The Global Entrepreneurship Monitor reported significant increases in startup activity rates among female founders from an average rate below men's just 5 years ago to record highs globally today. Yet, systemic bias against female entrepreneurs regarding investment decisions and market entry opportunities remains entrenched despite progress elsewhere. What changed the trajectory? International research consortia partner with local incubators, providing targeted training on trauma informed leadership development alongside traditional business skills. The result was a notable 6% increase in new startups led by minority and Black women, including measurable improvements around founder confidence tied directly back into lived experience sharing. One incubator created a story circle practice where women entrepreneurs shared the personal experiences that drove their business missions. A founder developing assistive technology for disabled children revealed how her brother's struggles had informed her innovation, something she'd previously omitted from pitch meetings for fear of appearing too emotional. After sharing this story authentically, her funding success rate increased by 40%. But here's where Amanda's perspective becomes truly revolutionary. She challenges us to see that acknowledging our wounds openly can unlock not only personal freedom, but also inspire others to break their own cycles of pain. This runs counter to our instinct to hide our struggles. We fear that revealing our vulnerabilities will diminish our authority or undermine our credibility. We worry that our wounds will be seen as weaknesses rather than sources of wisdom and strength. Yet the evidence suggests otherwise. When leaders, particularly Black women entrepreneurs, share their journeys of healing and transformation, they create spaces where others can do the same. They build communities where vulnerability becomes a bridge rather than a barrier. As Amanda powerfully states, what once held me captive now empowers me to help other women notice and name their own invisible burdens. And that's where real transformation begins. When Black women entrepreneurs embrace their full stories, including their wounds and their healing journeys, They create businesses that address needs others haven't recognized. They build models of leadership that value emotional intelligence alongside strategic thinking. They foster cultures where authenticity becomes a competitive advantage rather than a liability. The data supports this. Women led businesses that incorporate trauma informed approaches to leadership show higher employee retention, stronger customer loyalty, and more sustainable growth patterns. They're more innovative, more adaptable, and more resilient in the face of challenges. But perhaps most importantly, they're more human. They create spaces where people can bring their whole selves to work, where vulnerability is valued, healing is supported, and transformation is celebrated. This is the future of entrepreneurship that Amanda Mason is helping to create. A future where our deepest wounds become our greatest gifts, where our personal healing journeys inform and enhance our professional contributions, where the parts of ourselves we once tried to hide become the very things that set us apart and allow us to make our unique impact on the world. So I stand before you today with a challenge to fundamentally reconsider how you view your own wounds and those of others. What if the very experiences that have caused you the most shame, pain, or grief contain within them the seeds of your greatest contribution? What if the wisdom you've gained through your darkest moments is precisely what someone else needs to navigate their own darkness? I challenge you to find one area of your life where you've been hiding a wound, whether personal or professional, and ask yourself, what might be possible if I brought this into the light? Not as a burden to be carried, but as wisdom to be shared. I challenge you to create space in your organizations, communities, and relationships where others can do the same, where vulnerability is met not with judgment, but with reverence. Because here's the truth that Amanda Mason's work reveals so powerfully: our wounds are not just obstacles to overcome, they are portals to our purpose. They are not just chapters in our past, they are the very foundation upon which we can build a more compassionate, innovative, and inclusive future. The world doesn't need more perfect leaders, it needs more whole ones. Leaders who have done the courageous work of transforming their pain into purpose. Leaders who understand that our deepest wounds, when acknowledged and healed, become our greatest superpowers. This is your invitation to that transformation, not just to survive what happened to you, but to thrive because of how it shaped you and to create spaces where others can do the same. Thank you